went to bed early in Leddar, and therefore woke up early. At high altitude, you yawn a lot. It's one of the less annoying symptoms of altitude sickness, but it also makes you want to sleep. I started the day higher than the highest point on my Pacific Crest Trail through hike. Forester Pass is the highest point on the PCT and is 13,150 feet high, while Leddar is all the way up at 13,800 feet. Although neither of these was above my record elevation, I was up at 14,500 feet when I summited Mount Whitney. Later this day, I'd crush that record. Distance-wise, this day was going to be a short one. Only 4 miles according to Map My Run, but it would be the hardest so far. Really, this day was the first challenging day. Up to this point, the hardest part of my Nepal adventure was the plane ride to get here. We started hiking at 7:45. It took us 30 minutes to get the first resting place at a little tea house a mile in. At this resting spot, the bicyclist from the day before would pass me for the first time of the day. We'd actually hike down a little to cross the Jarsang Kola River. After the river, we'd take another break before traversing a gently increasing grade as we followed the river to Thorong Peti. You want to hustle through this area because of the landslide danger. We got past the landslide area after hiking 2 hours and about 3 miles. Thorong Peti was in sight. According to the itinerary, Thorong Peti was supposed to be our end of day stop, but we had bigger plans. We wanted to get to high camp. I was irrationally annoyed that we didn't stop at the first tea house in Thorong Peti. It took me 15 minutes to get from the first tea house down there to where we took a break. At Thorong Peti, I remember being truly cold for the first time. We huddled inside drinking our tea until someone said there was a herd of wild goats passing by outside.
The sounds amazing. Wow. So cute.
Are they more like a sheep or more like a mountain goat?
I'll take a picture of them.
Yeah. But they run very fast. Yeah, I bet.
I also got a good picture of a coe. As far back as Tal, I'd seen these birds, but I didn't know their name. In the gardens of Tal, I saw what I thought were scarecrows, but now I know they must really have been scarecrows. After Thorong Peti is when it got tough. At Thorong Peti, I was already above my previous high elevation record. In the mile between Thorong Peti and Thorong High Camp, we'd ascend over 1,000 more feet. Throughout the climb, I was leapfrogged by the bicyclist. We triumphantly reached High Camp right about lunchtime. Just walking around the relatively flat ground of High Camp was exhausting. The porters got there first, so our room was already available to us. That's right, the 3 of us would share a 2-bed bedroom. This would be the only time we had to do that. Here is a nice view from the front of the room. After lunch, we were encouraged to hike up to High Camp Viewpoint. Reportedly, the view from there was better than the view at the pass, so I did it. It was another 300 feet up, but the view didn't disappoint. From up on top of the viewpoint, I could see where we'd climb through the pass the next day. On the hike up, I passed a scree field, but I didn't check it out due to all the huffing and puffing. On the way down, I got to appreciate the temporary graffiti people spelled out with rocks. Added my trail name to the mix. Spent the remainder of the day in the dining hall just trying to stay warm. Right after an early dinner, I I was off to bed. Morning would come way too soon, and with it, the longest 2 miles of my life. Point on my Pacific Crest Trail through hike, Forester Pass. On the PCT, I don't like the wording of that. From the day before would pass me. Go and edit it, and I still screw it up.